Knicks take a bad loss in game two. Take these headphones off. And a lot of people are making it a big deal, asking the question, are the Knicks in trouble? Is the series in jeopardy? Are we done? Are we cooked? Jalen Brunson, is he taking too many shots? Coach Tibbs, did he drop the ball? Listen, we're going to talk about that all and more on this weekly breakdown or game two breakdown. Welcome to game two breakdown of the Knicks versus Pistons playoffs. Definitely welcome if you just tuned in. I do appreciate you, all you guys in the live chat, and to all the people that will be watching in the future. I do got to give a big time salute to some of the channel members and people that's in the building early. HRM, the Great Crimes Dad, I see you. Oh boy, trouble with the coach. We could talk about that, y'all. We're gonna talk about that. Now, I'm gonna try not to make this video too long. I'm just gonna literally read my notes from the game that I observed. I'm just gonna flip through. We're gonna take it step by step, quarter through quarter, and I'm gonna talk about, some of the things that I noticed with this game. Before I begin, a couple of announcements. I didn't get a chance to record the podcast yesterday. It had a lot of crazy things going on, but guess what, guys? The podcast will return again next week. At noon, unless I tell you guys otherwise. The podcast will return, and we'll get into more of the podcast episode. However, I do have a lot of the links that took place between, last week that we normally cover on the podcast is on thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. If you guys are interested in just reading more on some of the things I was going to talk about, I had an interesting Smoke of the Week segment with Malik Beasley, but definitely, if you want to check that out, you can. Also, I want to give a big time salute to J-Tap for coming out. He flew all the way out from the Bay, to come watch the game one. I'm glad we got a win in game one, because if he would have flew out and we got a loss, I would have felt bad. But salute to J-Tap. He definitely had a good time, and we all had a good time. So I just want to give a big time salute there. Definitely, we just got to make it happen. Now, look, guys, game two was tough. Game two was definitely tough. I mean, for me, honestly, man, I was just very disappointed. I was very disappointed. I feel like we are a superior team to the Detroit Pistons, right? I mean, they just out-hustled us, in my opinion. I did a poll, by the way, on the channel earlier asking people what are their thoughts. Do you believe that they out-hustled us or out-hustled us and out-muscled us, or did the refs, not blow the whistle? There was a big discrepancy in free throws. I know Coach Tibbs post-game made a big deal of that. At one point, I think in the first half, we didn't have any free throws. And they had 12. So it was a very physical game. And one thing I'm going to say, too, about the playoffs is that this is what the playoff basketball is all about. This is what we've been asking for, especially to us guys that go back to the 90s, right? We're used to seeing the contact, the rough play, the antics, and things of that nature. Me personally, I don't really care about the foul calls and the discrepancy in fouls, because I do think that when you look at the way the Knicks played, they just took too many damn threes early on. So they weren't looking to embrace the contact, whereas Detroit was definitely very physical on both sides of the ball, right? The Knicks had some physicality on the defensive end. I thought the defense was really good by the Knicks. Definitely one of the bright spots and why I'm confident going forward. But at the same time, the offensive end, I had the keys to victory. Salute to everybody that tuned into that show I did, that 2-hour plus show, or was it an hour and a half? That show I did breaking down exactly, some of the keys that needed to take place, right? Pistons are a young team, dominating the rebounds. The Pistons don't have the star support, and you see it. I mean, you see that K does everything for them, right? We have to show that we have improved on our defensive intensity, and of course, we're healthy, right? And you know what? I feel like health is a double-edged sword because yes, we healthy and there's no excuse there, right? And I don't like to make excuses. But at the same time, now you got a whole bunch of dudes that never played with each other, right? And you can see it. Double big lineup. To me, the double big lineup, definitely we should have seen it for 30 minutes last. I feel like the double big lineup was effective because of one issue I'm going to get to in a second. But even with the double big lineup being effective, these guys hadn't played much time together. And you can see the chemistry issues are there. Now, the starting five, to me, from an offensive standpoint, look lackluster. But I'm gonna take you through my notes, man. I'm gonna tell you to what I see when I watch the game. Knicks was a -6.5. That's a heavy favorite, even though it's a home favorite, right? In the playoffs. Still -6.5. You lose that game. You don't lose games like that. So one of the things, like when you see me on this mic, and I'm very confident, and it's just like the 10 Reasons show. I have a lot to work with as to why I think the way I think, right? We were a heavy favorite coming in. Usually the bookies are right most of the time, right? So we were a heavy favorite coming in, and I'm looking at each game. I think game one, we were a -4.5 or 5 or something like that. And this game, for it to be a -6.5, to lose it, that's a big deal. No Stewart, and salute to my people that's in the Discord server. I said in the Discord server, I said Paul Reed is playing. It's not that I'm scared of anything. The only thing about Paul Reed is that he's a veteran who's been here before, and he played against us last year in the playoff series. So veteran experience, as you see in this series, and even just throughout the playoffs, not even just the series, is very, very important. Very, very important. By the way, if you guys notice, I ain't got on the Knick hat. I'm not wearing the Knick hat till game 3. You know, I just can't do it, man. You know, because usually on most days I'm nicked out. But I decided, I'm just not wearing a hat till game 3. I can't do it, man. Can't do it. People gonna be coming for my head. They're already coming. I'm so mad that these Pistons fans that disappeared, they disappeared after game 1. I was on their necks, and now they come back. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Salute to you, JJ. We're lucky we're not down 0-2. I'm not gonna go that far. And I am going to answer the question too. Are we in trouble? Is the series in jeopardy? Right? I don't think that we're lucky to be down 0-2. I disagree with that. To me, when you look at the series, you see the shortcomings on both sides. Okay, you know what? I'll jump into research mode just so we could have the box scores up here and stuff like that. So, because I'm going to be referring to it. So, Thompson was very aggressive on Brunson. A lot of you guys were very hard on Brunson, and the fact that he took so many shots, 27 shots. I'm going to show you why in a second that, first off, I'm not someone that, puts the blame on one person, right? To me, you win as a team, you lose as a team, right? So, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what anyone did. We lost. I don't care about who does what. I want to win. Okay. But I will say, because I do weigh the responsibility, like Coach Tibbs is going to get more because he's the coach, right? So even though we all lose as a team, I'm still going to give the majority of the weight to Coach Tibbs. Jalen Brunson's the captain, right? He will get more weight as well. And Karl-Anthony Towns, he's our second superstar. He's also going to get some of the weight. But a lot of people were getting on Brunson like, man, Brunson's taking so many shots. Why is he taking so many shots past the ball, right? Game 1, I think he had 8 assists. This game, he has 7 assists on his average. If I scroll up and I look at Cade Cunningham had 3 assists. Cade Cunningham had 33 points. So Brunson not only had more points than Cade Cunningham, he also had more assists than Cade Cunningham. But no one's going to talk about Cade Cunningham dominating the ball because they won the game. I get that. That's a fair take. My point is that Jalen Brunson did everything in his power, and to try to make us win. And this is what I want from Brunson. I want to see last year's Brunson. Why do I want to see last year's Brunson? Because only in balance. Only in balance. And you know, I stay with my stats, man. I got so many stats on my desk, bro. I'm the stat master, right? So we know there's a value. There's a value in Brunson, right? In terms of him scoring less at times, deferring to the teammates, getting Towns involved. Anytime Brunson scores under 20 points, the Knicks are 11-3 in the regular season, right? However, on the flip side, when Jalen Brunson scores 30 or more, right, 30 or more points, the Knicks had a 15-7 record. So there's times where Brunson needs to step up, and there's times where Brunson needs to defer, right? Also, we know the value in Brunson getting his assist up, right? Anytime Brunson gets 9 or more assists, the Knicks are 15-6. So to me, he did a little bit of both because outside of Mikal Bridges, who has often been maligned for his poor play, more so on the offensive end, and his defense hasn't been where we wanted it to be most of the year. Besides him, who did anything else? OG Anunoby was off. And who's the girl that they keep making a big deal about that was there? Oh, this girl, every time she comes to the game, OG Anunoby performs. Suni or something like that. I can't remember her name. That clearly didn't work. It backfired. Maybe he was thinking in his mind, she's here, I got to go off, and then OG just kind of disappeared, right? So besides Mikal Bridges, who else did anything? You know, let me just stretch this out because it's driving me crazy. Try to get a little, okay. Besides him, who did anything from an offensive standpoint, right? Defensively, to me, everything was on par. Offense is a major key. Like I said, one of the major keys for me was displaying the fifth-ranked offense, right? Because the Pistons, they're not an elite defensive team. So it's a huge disappointment, but I'm going to take you down the line. So I felt like in the first quarter, they shot too many threes. At one point, they were 0-8 or 0-7 from downtown, right? It's like, why are y'all shooting so many threes? Are you shying away from the contact from the Pistons? Is it really bothering you like that? There's no reasons why you don't get any free throw attempts. And we know the theme on the season has been the Knicks not drawing enough fouls, right? So, but in the first half, you don't get no free throw attempts. Now, of course, the flip side, I do agree the refs blew some calls. But I'm not going to put it on the refs because I want the basketball to be a little bit more, you know, less police. I think the physicality should be embraced more during the playoffs, right? Because that's just what playoff basketball is about. Now, what we need to do is respond. I already told you the first key was the Detroit Pistons. They foul a lot. They are amongst the foul leader, but that's not the problem. The problem is not getting the Pistons in foul trouble. The issue is getting certain players on the Pistons in foul trouble, like Jalen Duran, right, who did wind up getting multiple fouls in the second half, but up until the third quarter, Jalen Duran only had 2 fouls. Anytime he gets 4 fouls or more, the Pistons have a losing record. I think it was 14-16 or 14-18. Anytime he's overly aggressive, same thing with Cade Cunningham, right? He only had 3 fouls. These guys play ultra aggressive. When these two guys get into foul trouble, it becomes a problem. Sorry, yeah, I had a special guest intervene in the live, but we all good now. We all good. Okay, so let me get back to what I'm saying. So yeah, they did. To me, they didn't do a good job of going at Cade, right? And usually Cade is on. Well, they kind of mix match who guard too. Asar normally gets Brunson, right? Tobias is matched up with Hart. Sometimes Cade gets the OG assignment. You know, sometimes they mix and match it. I mean, depends on how they want to go. But either way, whoever has Cade as the defender, they need to take advantage of Cade and attack him. He's ultra aggressive, right? And he also does on the offensive end when he's driving to the basket, he extends his arm a lot, you know. And of course, in the playoffs, he has been getting away with it a little bit more. That's fine. But the bottom line is, you got to get to the line. And to go 0 of 7 from downtown, it to me is just crazy. Then Durant, speaking of Durant to me had a really good first quarter, and he had 4 points early. I mean, just one monster dunk, right? Another on a pick and roll, right? Durant is somebody who, when it comes to scoring, he should not be a factor, right? Now, of course, he didn't have 20 points, but 12 points is enough to cause damage in a playoff series because more than likely they're going to be all dunks or layups or something like that, easy shots, right? So once he got rolling, I felt like it gave him more confidence to deal with the big bodega Karl-Anthony Towns. Another thing, too, with Towns, right? Because Towns only scored 10 points in the second quarter. I did feel, however, the shots, to me, were balanced to start the game. The problem with the shots on the Knicks side was they shot too many threes. But they did try to establish Towns. It's just Towns didn't have it going. I'm not on the side of, well, Towns, you know, they need to make sure they give him the ball. I think Towns needs to be aggressive, right? Salute the Cat. You know, we got the Bodega Cat shirts, right? On the screen right here. Just came out on the shop. I'm still riding with Cat, you know what I mean? Bodega Cat. I think he's going to have an incredible bounce back game in game 3. I'm just telling you some of the things that I seen in game 2. And yeah, before I continue, let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. By the way, salute the own Dio Supermod in the building. Definitely make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. All right. And if you are a subscriber, consider joining the channel. Am I still muted? No, I'm not muted now. I'm good. Yeah, I was muted earlier, JJ, because I got interrupted. We good though. Let me see. That loss was more about the Knicks offense, pace, passing, rebounding, not the D. I'm getting to the rebounds in a second. Definitely get to the rebound. Yeah, definitely not about defense. The defense was fantastic. I like the defense, and I like the physical nature of the game. I think the Knicks could win in those areas, right? Because to me, when you talk about physicality, even though Captain, he says that the Pistons are a very physical team, to me, Kay Cunningham, Jalen Duran, Isaiah Stewart, and Malik Beasley, because he'd be hacking sometimes, those guys are really the only physical guys on the team. All the rest of those Detroit Pistons dudes are finesse. And I saw the Thompson kid, he's aggressive, but his game, especially on the offensive, is more finesse. On the defensive game, you can see that he's being coached to say, hey, just stay in his grill. You're right. And I'm not sure if that's how he normally plays. Maybe he does. But to me, outside of that, his game is finesse because he's doing these spin moves in the lane, which are very nice, by the way. Very nice. Very nice. Like I said, OG was 1 for 5 in the first quarter. Brunson's playing defense too, man. To me, Brunson's defense is probably the most impressive aspect of his game because, I'm not saying Brunson is stopping everybody or he's stopping anybody. Yes, guys do get buckets on him, but he's drawing charges. He's reaching. I mean, how many fouls did Brunson have? Brunson had 5 fouls this game. Very aggressive. This is the game where you got to be aggressive. And, of course, like the calls wasn't unbalanced. I'm giving you that. The refs were making some bad calls. I don't care about that. You still got to win. This is New York City. You're the veteran team. You got to figure out a way to get the job done, right? So, yeah, it got up to 0-8 from threes. Right. And the Pistons only took 3 threes. So here's what I was saying in the Discord. Right. And I'll tell you guys how to get into the Discord if you want to on this channel in a second. Right. I was saying in the Discord server that the Pistons are not shooting well from 3. This is the time to go with the double big lineup. They were not looking to shoot threes. They only had 3 threes in the first quarter. 33%, 1 of 3. But they were +5 on the glass. Pistons +5 on the glass. And this is a reoccurring theme. This is one of the keys that I said in my video last week where I said if the Knicks want to win this series, the Knicks has to do these things because anytime the Knicks dominate the rebounding matchup, they are 35-10. It's just the truth. When the Knicks win the battle on the glass, they win the matchup most of the time. Anytime they don't win the matchup, they're 13-21. You still could win, but the odds get lessened. This is why numbers are important. And this series has been very, very consistent with what we've seen somewhat in the regular season. Of course, the game is way different, but the bottom line, what I'm saying is certain key things about the way the game is being played, rebounds is very important. And we have the better rebounders. We have the better rebounders. We got Mitchell Robinson. Salute to him. He had 7 rebounds off the bench. 7 rebounds in 20 minutes. I'm going to talk more about Mitchell Robinson. You got to see more Mitchell Robinson in a series like this. You know, I mean, I love Coach. But come on, man. Now, I'm going to get into the second quarter. That was the first quarter. I'm going to move forward. The second quarter, and I'm going to read some of your chats in a second. But second quarter was this, right? What I began to notice, right? And here's what a concern I was saying, right? Because I realized that we were down on the glass and they were actually really aggressive and really attacking the offensive glass, my concern was second chance threes, which really didn't come into play today. But, you know, they were able to get more possessions, right? Even though I don't think they got much more second chance points than we did. Let me just pull it up right here. Let's see. You know what? Where was I at? Let me go back to the ESPN because I got some NBA.com stuff I want to check out. I want to talk about Towns. To all my people that are upset with Towns' shots, you know, his you know, him not getting enough shots. I'm going to talk more about that. Right? I think the way Brunson played was fantastic. I don't care about the points. I care about him trying to get buckets because no one else is scoring. K did the same thing on their side. It was very stagnant until Dennis Schroeder, and I'm going to get to that. But to me, Brunson played the way he was supposed to play. But when we talk about, let's see, fast break points was the same pretty much, right? Points conceded off turnovers. We actually got more points off turnovers than they did, which is kind of interesting. But I guess it makes sense because we wasn't shooting well. Of course, they shot way more free throws. I think that was the major difference is 34 free throws to 19, right? They made 28 of 34. You only make 16 free throws. That's the ball game right then and there, right? But look at the offensive glass, 12 offensive rebounds. They were killing us on the glass. I mean, demolishing us on the glass, right? And this pretty much led to additional opportunities. Of course, it may not have led into second chance points as much, but it led to them getting to the free throw line. It led to, you know, them actually, you know, when they did get a second chance point, it just was bad because you got a team like Detroit that's not the greatest at really anything on offense, right? They're not the greatest three-point shooting team. They don't got the greatest half-court sets. They want to run. They want to run. And the only way to keep them from running is to get the rebound. I mean, I understand it's the playoffs and like you want to make it like it's some super analytical thing. I don't really give a damn about the super analytics. You play the double big lineup. The double big lineup was working in this game. Play it more. Mitch got to get tired, man. I don't care. You got to run it. You know, to be honest, to see Karl-Anthony Towns, a healthy Karl-Anthony Towns play 33 minutes in the playoff game, I want to see everybody in the high 30s and some in the 40s, whoever could deal with it. I don't want to see nobody getting 33 minutes. You got to leave it all out there, man. I would have played Towns and Mitch more. Fine. You don't want to play Precious Achiuwa? Fine. Play the double big lineup more. This is the time to run them in the ground. There is no tomorrow. You lose to Detroit, there is no tomorrow. So second quarter, Towns started to get busy down low. A lot of post-up buckets from Towns. He did not make a three today. All his points came down low in the paint. I do like Towns being aggressive down low because he got these little dudes on. They putting Tobias. Dude, if they're putting Tobias Harris on you, you should have 30. I understand that the double teaming is a scheme. You know, you're not on the island. I get it. But to me, the double big lineup was helping cut into the lead on the glass. At one point, We were down on the glass by 5. They had more rebounds than us, but then we cut it to 3 at one point. No ball movement, right? No free throws. This is what I wrote down for the second quarter. No ball movement, no free throws. And to be fair, Detroit wasn't moving the ball either. Detroit only had, 11 assists? We had 15. So both teams was just one-on-one. The reason why no one cares about Detroit not passing the ball and Cade not passing the ball is because they won. I mean, we should have won the game. We should have won the game. I'm just saying. They did what they were supposed to. To me, Detroit didn't play that well. Only thing Detroit did well to me was defend. The defense was incredible. Cade started getting it going. 11 points. Definitely some bad turnovers in the second quarter as well. And like I said, what was the second key to victory? Was it the second key? Or did I make it a part of the offensive, right? I think I might have made it a part of the offensive efficiency because I know that the Detroit Pistons are a top 5 team, fast breaks, points off turnovers. They thrive when turning teams over. So if you turn the ball over against the Detroit Pistons, you're going to lose. They operate so well. They play fast. They play at a fast pace, right? And they don't want to slow the game down because they know they are ineffective in the half court. Because when you watch Detroit in the half court, what do they run? Pick and roll. And when Mitch is on the floor, one thing I did know about Mitch was that Mitch does a great job guarding pick and roll, and I put that in the Discord server. Mitch Robinson, pick and roll defense, elite. Because there was one play, they ran the pick and roll, Cade didn't even look at the basket. Mitch got Cade to pass the ball, and that's when I was like, Mitchell Robinson is the key to this series. If not anything else, is Mitchell Robinson, y'all. I'm telling you, Mitchell Robinson is the key to this series. Let me read some of your chats as I continue in the second quarter. I'm going through my notes, y'all, right now. Go through my notes, man. Let me see what you guys talking about in the chat. Osmosis Jones, salute to you. Pistons leading, making 1-3 a quarter to the fourth. Wild in the NBA facts. Imagine telling Pistons fans late June 2004 they would be relying on Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder. I didn't get to that yet. I remember to all my people that watched my 2-hour video, what was another thing I said? Right? I said Detroit's lack of star support. And I got on their veterans. I said they veterans didn't do nothing in the playoffs. But guess what? They doing something this playoffs. They doing something these playoffs. And to be honest, if Detroit didn't make the move for Tobias Harris, didn't make the move for Schroeder, didn't make the move for, definitely didn't make the move for Beasley, they be getting killed. We be blowing them out the 2 games in the series. The veterans are everything. And I said this, the veteran experience is the reason why. I still think the Knicks are going to win the series. But you just see the value of a Schroeder who averaged 20 plus in the playoffs. I think Schroeder averaged like 24 in the 17 playoffs. Schroeder was a ball player, bro. And he's been in these circumstances. Though he hasn't done nothing lately, still experience matters. Just like campaign in game 1. I know he didn't have a game in game 2. That's fine. And look, each game is going to be different in the playoff series. You're going to have different heroes, right? So game 3 for the Pistons, it may not be Schroeder. It may be Beasley, right? It may be whoever. Same thing for the Knicks. It may not be Bridges' time the way it was this game, right? It might be OG's back, right? Maybe Hart gets a triple-double, Each game is going to be different, but what needs to be consistent is Towns and Brunson. And Towns, to me, really played well in the second quarter. But even with his physical play, and this to take it back to the referees, because I'm not letting the refs off the hook, I do think that they did a terrible job. I think that, Towns should have got to the line in the second quarter. I mean, he was very physical. Most of his buckets was inside the paint. I mean, going hard. They hitting him, beating him up, and not getting no calls. Now, Brunson hit 3 threes in the second quarter to help make this a game again because the Pistons were trying to pull away. Now, Brunson's 3 threes was the first Knicks make in the game. They didn't make no threes. So if the Knicks are not making no threes, Landry Shamet, he didn't even take a look. Landry Shamet didn't even take a shot. Didn't even take a shot. Okay. Deuce hit 2 threes later. That was later in the game. Nobody else on the Knicks bench scored besides Deuce McBride. Even though I think Mitch was very effective, he didn't get no buckets. We only got 8 points from Deuce McBride. That's just not a win. That's why also, because you didn't get enough from your bench, I don't care about minutes in the playoffs. In the playoffs is where you play the guys the crazy minutes, because look at the Detroit Pistons. Cade Cunningham. Well, Cade Cunningham played 42 minutes, but Tobias Harris played 43 minutes. Okay? Durant played 37 minutes. I think Durant averages like 32. Hold on. How many minutes he averaged? So Durant in the regular season, he averaged 26 minutes. So for Durant to get 37 minutes, and I'm sorry, I'm not in research mode. My bad. So for Durant to get 37 minutes in the playoff series, it's not the time to rest guys. This is the time to play. I don't give a damn if they got to play 48 minutes. You do whatever it takes to get a win, especially against a team like Detroit. This series shouldn't go beyond 5. Now, to be fair, if you want me to eat crow, I'll eat crow. Because I said, yo, man, I said the Knicks would get it in 4, right? But my official pick was 5 games. And I still think the Knicks can get it in 5 games. They could easily win 2 games in Detroit. Detroit hasn't done anything to scare me. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not scared of them. I think that their offense is very limited. And Cade Cunningham has to do a lot for them to win. He had a double-double, 12 rebounds. I think the Knicks are going to be strong. I hope the Knicks are stronger on the glass in the next game. Brunson on fire, 15 points. Cade went on fire. He went off 20 points in the half. Pistons had 12 free throws, like I said. But here's the thing. Knicks had 10 turnovers in the first half. We wind up finishing with 14 turnovers. So in the second half, we did a better job protecting the ball. But this is what propelled the Pistons to the lead, was the fact that we were turning over the ball. But this is also why the Pistons wasn't really running away with fast break points and things of that nature, because we started to protect the ball more as the game went along. So I'm going to jump into the third quarter. Now, I did miss some of the third quarter, and I didn't get a chance to watch the game twice. But what I did note about the third quarter was this is when the Pistons took the rebounding edge to a whole nother level, because in the second quarter, when at the end of the second quarter, we were the Pistons were +3 on the glass. Okay? +3 on the glass. So third quarter comes around. That's when they really take it the effort up another notch on the glass. And I felt like that was a downfall for us, because it prevented us from getting out in fast break, getting out in transition, from us getting second chance threes and things of that nature. For the game, we finished 10 of 35 from 3. So even though we started 0 of 8, we wound up finishing 10 of 35, which is not bad, but slow starts on the Garden floor to me was definitely problematic. Let me see. So Brunson started to go crazy as he normally does, right? Of course, Towns only had the 10 points in the second quarter, had no points in the second half. The Pistons pushed the lead to 13 in the third quarter, and I noted at the time we were -10 on the glass. -10 on the glass. Now, the Pistons did not shoot well from 3 at all, and they completely just limited their three-point attempts. The only time the Pistons would take threes was when they were open. Outside of that, they avoided the 3-ball. Let's see. What else I got here? So in the third quarter, the Knicks went 1 of 11, no score for 5 minutes. Ice cold. Ice cold. And if you're not crashing the glass, at this point in time, I'm thinking let's insert Mitch so we could get some offensive rebounds and get some second chance opportunities. But unfortunately, during that span, Mitch didn't come in the game. Thompson took his aggressiveness to another level, guarding Brunson 94 feet. And I'm like, yeah, this kid going to get fouled out. And that's honestly what also kind of kept us in the game was, Thompson, starting to get us some free throws attempts, because this was the first time we actually got a free throw attempt was in the third quarter. Okay. And remember, we had no free throw attempts in the first half, But in the second half, we got 19 free throw attempts. So I look for the Knicks to get more calls and to get more, because now that the NBA is going to be looking at it. But to get 19 free throws in the second half, that is honestly a positive sign if you ask me, right? That's a positive sign if you ask me. So let me see what else. OG was hesitant. I don't know if the girl Suni was in his mind. I don't understand that. The league grew ballooned to 15, right? Crazy. Let me see. So this is when we were down when the quarter ended. I had here we were minus 11 on the glass. However, the Pistons only shot 20% from three. So the three-point defense from the Knicks definitely much improved. Now, the first game, the Pistons shot like, 44% from three? Crazy. Scary. We already know that the Knicks perform bad when teams score well from the three-point line. So that was the third quarter. Fourth quarter, complete nightmare. Where do you want me to begin? We were down 8 going into the fourth quarter again, right? And once I seen that, I said, I didn't want to believe it, but I thought we were going to lose. First, before I continue, let me see where we are in the chat. Salute to J-Tap in the building. Mixtape Madness Discord server channel member. He also came out to the watch party. Salute to you, J-Tap. Great to see you. J-Tap, I agree. If Mitch is the key, then play him more. Facts. And look, and I was going to get to it, but Mitchell Robinson's the only Knick with a positive plus minus. I wonder why. 0 points, positive plus minus. What that shows me is that his rebounding, that's what kept us in the game when he was there. That's why he was a +3. Rebounding. Towns minus 10. Put them together. Rebounding. Just saying you got the best offensive rebounder in basketball. You see this, coach. And look, Coach Tibbs, I'm not the part of the anti-Coach Tibbs hive. I'm not saying that I want to see the man fired. But some of the adjustments, this game was so simple. Like, I don't want to make it like I'm trying to just downplay what Coach Tibbs did, because there are some good things that he did do. We just didn't get the win. I felt like there was a lot more he could have done. Okay, let's actually call some more plays for Towns in the fourth quarter. Forget the second half. Fourth quarter. Wait a minute. Towns only has 10 points in the second quarter. We know, right? And I'm not on the coaching staff, but I know they got a million coaches, so I know that they know when Karl Anthony Towns scores 27 points or more, the Knicks are 19-7. So the more Towns scores, the better we are. And for him to not get no touches in the second half, or forget it, even in the fourth quarter, to me is crazy. Now, for all my Brunson people, that Brunson takes too many shots, and Brunson, he got to pass the ball. In my opinion, I'm like, why am I passing the ball to a bunch of dudes that's not doing nothing? Okay? Now, this is game 2, right? So I just want you to take a look at this. I'm not the most advanced stat dude, but we're going to look at some advanced stats. Look at Towns' usage rating, right? 14.1. See that? 14.1. 14.1 usage rating. And how many assists did Towns have? Towns had 0 assists. Okay, cool. I forgot if he had assists or not. This make this double check. So this is game 1. So game 1, Karl Anthony Towns usage, right? 15.7. Usage is pretty much the same as it was in the second game. What happened? What is the difference? I felt like in this game, Towns definitely played more minutes. That's one. But 2, Towns was more aggressive. He was more aggressive looking for his shot in game 1 than he was in game 2. But I just want to show you the usage rate. It's not that he didn't get touches. It's just that he didn't put up any shots. He just wasn't putting up any shots. His usage rating was pretty much the same. And if you want, I could go to game 1. So he had his 11 shots in game 2. Let's see how many shots he got in game 1 because I don't remember off the top of the head. Game 1, Karl-Anthony Towns, 14 shots. So he took 3 more shots. 3 more shots than he took in game 2, and he had 23 points. He's just too dynamic of a scorer. Like, they really can't guard him. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like watching a superhero like the Hulk, right? Not use his full strength because he'll pretty much will destroy anybody he fights. That's what it's like watching Towns at times. It's like, yo, dude, you're a superhero, bro. Go in. You get 6 rebounds against Detroit. That's not acceptable, bro. It's not. Because, Brunson's not passing the ball and you're not getting your shots. Why you only got 6 rebounds? Is what they're saying true about you, big cat? You shy away from contact? You don't want to play down low? You don't want to be a 5? I'm not saying it's true. I'm just asking the question, big cat. Gotta hold you guys accountable, man. When you guys lose, gotta hold you accountable. But I want to also talk about the Pistons veterans, right? So their veterans, to me, A1. A1. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, 20 points off the bench, hitting big shots. Even though his defense was sorry on Brunson, I felt like Brunson was cooking him. I feel like, his scoring, because here's something that I caught. Schroeder made Brunson had to play defense. Down the stretch, especially Schroeder made Brunson have. So that little tweak right there, this is what it's all about. JB said, we got to make Brunson play defense. None of you other dudes, because what did Tim Hardaway do? Tim Hardaway had 0 points. All right? Tim Hardaway was making Brunson look like a defensive stopper out there. 21 minutes. This is why he sat him down. Adjustments. This is adjustment. I'm sitting you down. This kid got in foul trouble. That's why he got 21 minutes. But Tim Hardaway sat down. You ain't doing that. Let me put Schroeder in the game, my other veteran, who's going to put the pressure on Brunson. Now, Brunson has to defend Schroeder. Great adjustment. Great damn adjustment. But they're veterans. It's not about them having the most points. It's about them stepping up when they need them the most because all of their young boys, their young boys ain't doing nothing. I'm going to keep it real. All of these Ron Hollins and these dudes, they ain't doing nothing. The veterans, Paul Reed, Beasley, Schroeder, Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway didn't have a good game. Those guys are carrying the Pistons. So the Knicks have to make a decision to not lose to these dudes because these dudes, even though they're veterans, they are not on your level. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Michael Beasley or Malik Beat, whatever his name is, I had the smoke of the week for him. I'm mad I didn't get the chance to flame him. But anyway, those 2 dudes are not on Mikal Bridges' level. Okay? Dennis Schroeder, none of these dudes can compete with what we have on the other side. So we got to do a better job of showing that they're not on that level. Because no one really had a good game on the Pistons besides, Durant was solid, okay? 13 rebounds, okay? That's a great performance, double-double. But Tobias Harris was okay. 15 points, solid, but 13 rebounds, yes. So, okay, on the rebounding end, so Durant and Tobias killed us on the glass. Cade is Cade. Cade is going to do him. I didn't expect Cade to have a bad series. I thought that we'll beat them no matter how Cade plays. But Dennis Schroeder, 20 points. That right there, we don't need to see that again in game 3. But even if we do see it, you still look who you got on your team. You got OG Anunoby. You got Karl-Anthony Towns. You got Josh Hart. You got Deuce McBride, bro. There's no reason why you lose to these dudes. These dudes is not on your level. They're not on your level. So are we in trouble, right? Are we in trouble? Is the series in jeopardy? No. Come on, dude. It's game 2. It's game 3. Yeah, this is what happens. We still got probability and analytics on our side. World Class said it game 1. The team that wins game 1 has a 75% chance of winning. Okay? It's not over. You go to Detroit, you get at least one game. Now you're looking at you got your home court advantage back. It's not over. It's too early to be over. Even the what series is that? The Lakers, Minnesota, right? That's not over just because the Lakers lost game one. What that mean? That don't mean that they're gonna lose the series. It's not how basketball works. It's a 7-game series, y'all. When you see a team go down 3-0 or 3-1, okay, it's over. Series is not over. We're not in trouble. I still think we're the favorites. We still got the better team. We don't have any injuries, right? Brunson be, giving us some scare tactics, leaving the game and things of that nature, but he's fine. I didn't see nothing in the reports talking about his health. Mitchell Robinson's still there. We see what Mitchell Robinson can do on the glass. We see how important he is in this series. I mean, we're not in trouble. I still think we could win in 5. For all of the reasons why I said. Now, I do have to give credence or take heed to the fact that their veterans are performing well, right? Schroeder's had an excellent game. Beasley to me, he's playing mind games. It's not that his play on the court, he was a +7, but he only 2 of 9 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. So Malik Beasley wasn't killing us from an offensive standpoint. He was killing us from he had some hard fouls. He's talking to the refs, talking to us, playing mind games, those sort of things. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think that we're fine. I still don't believe that their veterans are going to take them over the top. I don't believe it. JJ said, yes, we're in trouble. People acting like this was going to be easy. Easy, we're tripping. Nah, JJ, at the end of the day, we were +400, 80% chance of winning the series. I don't think people who are tripping, and honestly, losing game 2 of a series doesn't mean the series won't be over in 5. Pistons lost 15 straight playoff games. They were due to tie with 1 minute left. Odds finally even out. Yeah, as Moses Jones, that's a fact. And the playoffs is you got to win 4 games, bro. Like one game, we've seen the best of them lose 1 game. It is what it is. It's just not the end of the world. It's not. HR the great. So Tibbs Tibbs not saying run everything. Drew Jalen. Why is Cat not shooting? That's on Cat. I don't think that Tibbs is doing that by design because, to be fair, HRM, salute to you, Knicks Tape Manners Discord server. I think that they started off the game, both games, trying to get Cat involved in the paint, right? He in this game, he just wasn't able to get no shots up, but he did get some touches in the first quarter. I do remember that. He didn't get no points, but I do remember him getting touches. And the defense was very physical, and I felt like they settled for threes. They settled for threes, especially in that first quarter. Complete settle job. I think in the next game, I expect the Knicks to start out with a little bit more intensity. I also expect the bench to respond better, even though I think Mitch had a good game. But I think that the other guys, whether it be Shamet or Deuce, I think it's time for them to Shamet or Payne again. I think those guys will step up again or have the opportunity. Nick Fan says no bench, no title. We're not talking about title right now, Nick Fans 518. We're talking about getting out the first round. Yeah, titles. We're just gonna leave that to see what happens. I'm not gonna put no pressure on this team. I'm not saying they gotta win the championship this year. I don't think that would be fair, nor do I think it's realistic. Could it happen? Anything is possible. We act like they didn't beat us 3 out of 4 regular seasons, and didn't outplay us both playoff games. I can't say they outplayed us in the game one because they lost. That's the number one reason. 2, we scored 40 points in the fourth quarter. It's hard to say a team outplayed you when they allowed you to score 40 points in the fourth quarter and go on a 21-0 run. You can't say they outplayed you if they let you do that. But as far as I want to get back to the regular season games, the regular season has no direct correlation on the playoffs. No direct correlation on playoffs. I don't care about what happened in the regular season because, as you even seen in this game, we had the opportunity to win this game. So it's not like we got blown out. We had an opportunity to win the game. We just didn't win. And we didn't help ourselves. We going down by 13. J-Tap says, why did they stop blitzing Cade? I think that part of that is the reason why the three-point defense was good. Because in game one, remember they blitzed Cade, but they killed us from three. Hold on. Let me show you after game one. Okay? This is what happened game one. They shot damn near 47% from three in game one. They made 15 threes. This is what happens when you blitz Cade. All these other dudes is getting open shots. Tim Hardaway had 8 threes. He only made 3, but he took up 8 threes. Most of these are open. Tobias Harris, same thing. Most of his 4 or 5, mostly open. Malik Beasley, 6 or 12, mostly open. So this is what happens when you blitz Cade. So that the adjustment was we'll allow Cade to get his 30 ball, right? But we want to prevent the other dudes from balling. It's just that in the fourth quarter, this guy right here, Dennis Schroeder, killed us in the fourth. That's the reason why we lost the game. Dennis Schroeder is the reason why we lost the game. Cade was going to be Cade. I don't give a damn. I expected Cade to have good games because I think he's a really good player. I just don't have no faith in none of his other dudes. I really don't. So that's why I was very confident, and I still am confident. We had the game. It is what it is. I mean, we lost. We lost. We made a valiant effort to try to come back. We finished being, what, minus 12 on the glass? No, minus 14 on the glass. So they went plus 3 in the fourth. No, I shouldn't say that. They added to their dominance on the glass in the fourth. J-Tap, but we won game one. Yes, we did win game one, but everything in the playoffs to me is different. Each game is going to be different. It's not going to look the same. And I'm telling you right now, that 46% from 3 is scary, J-Tap, because in the regular season, when teams shot 40% or greater against us, their records is 24-4. We usually lose games due to just 3.3 percentage defense, the opposing team killing us from threes. So we said we're not going to give them no open shots. We're not going to give them no open shots. That's why no one else on their team, but Schroeder, had 20. That's why Tobias Harris wasn't killing us as much because he only got 4 threes in game one, right? He was able to make more threes because he was open. Yes, the Pistons had open threes this game too, which is still a concern to me, but they didn't make them. So, hey, what more do you want me to say? It's the playoffs. Salute the quiet money in the building, man. But I think that's all, guys. I don't want to make this too long because I want to make the replay value excellent. And I want to leave you guys with something. Like I said, the podcast will return. Sorry, I had to miss the podcast yesterday. Podcast will return Monday, hopefully at noon, more than likely, unless I tell you guys otherwise. Be on the lookout for the schedule. I'm not going to be able to do a Wednesday show, the midnight stream, but the Call Up Show will be back this Friday at 10:45 p.m. as always. I wanted to do a live play-by-play on Sunday, but I forgot I have somewhere to take my daughter like halfway throughout the game. So I got to figure that out. I mean, how would you guys mind if I did half of the game and I had to go because I had to take my daughter somewhere on Sunday? I forgot that the goddamn game for the playoffs. Hey, listen, man, they made the playoffs. They released the schedule really late, right? Everybody was curious to know when the games were going to be, and we didn't know, right? So they released one game, which was game one, and then they took a couple of other days before they told us when the other games are going to be. So I could do a half play-by-play if y'all want. Y'all want me to do a half play-by-play? I'll do it for the first half. Because in the second half, like I said, I got somewhere to take my daughter. But that's all I got for you guys. I do want to give a big time salute to all the channel members, Discord server, people. Oh, on the way out, let's wrap on that. Let me show you guys how to get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. All you guys got to do is just go to the channel. And honestly, you might see it on the video you're on right now. When you look up at the top right underneath where the video is, you'll see a button called Join. When you click the Join button, right, bam, you're going to see this pop up. We got 2 packages, the Starter Knicks fans, Hardcore Knicks fans. I'm only going to talk about the Starter Knicks fan package, right? Now, when you join the channel, you automatically get access to the Knicks Tape Madness Discord server where we got the 24/7 Knicks chats. We in there talking all night, having great conversations. I'm always in there. It's a great way to extend the conversation with me. We also got other sports too. We got the NBA, we got NFL, we got pretty much any sport. Any sport, we got all the sports. If you want to chat, with me, and we could talk about all types of stuff, especially Knicks. The Knicks are the highlight, right? Of course, I got the members only live chats. I was doing parlay Sundays. I do members only content, members only live shows. Be on the lookout for the next members live. I got to figure out when I could do it. Maybe I'll do the half a play-by-play for the members this Sunday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, I got content I do for members, Unfiltered Thought Series, which I will be dropping more of that content this week. Of course, members get priority replies. I drop a lot of content every day. I try to drop something. I try to also drop a video a day. There'll be something for you to comment on. If you're a member, you'll get comments, priority, reply, response, right? Of course, I just talked about some of the updates that I do, members only content. Members get shouted out. And of course, discounts on the merch, man, like the big bodega cat shirts you see here, the mugs. Members get a 10% discount on all the merch, right? Some special, and I drop all the prices on the merch. I mean, the merch is very affordable. So if you want to support the channel and you want to also support the captain, we got the Captain 11 right here. This just came. I didn't even get a chance to wear this because the weather got so nice outside. I'm gonna have to wear that on the live. But just definitely support the store. You could go to shop.thisweekinsidetheknicks.com, or you could go to thisweekinsidetheknicks.com. The link that's right there. It'll take you there, man. But that's all I got for you. I do got to give my salutes. On Dios, the Superman. Be sure to check out On Dios on IG. He goes in. Salute to Moses Jones. Precious ain't got to get no minutes. We don't need Precious. Precious, sorry, double big lineup. Salute to Quiet Money. Salute to J-Tap. Once again, salute to the JJ, Knicks fans, 518. Salute to AJ. Of course, salute to HRM, the great Knicks Tape Madness Discord server channel member. Let me see. Salute to AJ. Who else I didn't salute? I want to make sure everybody gets a salute. Of course, JJP, NYC, and JJ. Not sure which one I saluted, so I give them a double salute. Of course, salute to the great Crimes Dad, always telling me to start the show. I want to thank you, Crimes Dad, for being the first one to purchase a Bodega Cat mug. So salute to Crimes Dad, and also salute to HRM, the great man. Another Knicks Tape Madness Discord server. He also got him a mug as well. And actually, he also won the free giveaway that I get. So that's another thing too, members. That's another good reason to join the channel. I do have a lot of free giveaways that I give away to the members, okay? But that's all I got for you guys today. And until next time, let's go Knicks.